Tommy McCullough vanished during a weekend camping trip, his merit badge sash found hanging on a tree branch. 13 years later, his younger brother's Eagle Scout project to build a nature trail uncovers remains and evidence of a decades-long pattern. Michael McCullough kneels beside a surveyor's stake, measuring the grade for what will become the Tommy McCullough Memorial Trail. The morning mist clings to the pine trees of Camp Wilderness, the same forest where his older brother disappeared 13 years ago. At 25, Michael carries the focused determination of someone who has learned to channel grief into purpose. His Eagle Scout ring catches the early sunlight as he adjusts his compass, preparing to mark the next section of trail that will wind through these woods where Tommy once earned his hiking merit badge. The measuring tape catches on something buried beneath the fallen leaves. Michael pulls it free, then stops. The object isn't a root or rock, it's smooth, manufactured. He brushes away the debris and stares at a tarnished metal buckle, the kind used on old-style Boy Scout belts. His hands shake as he recognizes the distinctive eagle emblem, identical to the one Tommy wore the last time anyone saw him alive. Michael's mind races back to that October weekend in 2011. Tommy had been excited about the camping trip to Camp Wilderness, eager to complete his Wilderness Survival Merit Badge. At 12, he was already working toward his Eagle Scout rank, following the path their father had taken decades earlier. Scoutmaster Bill Adams had personally invited Tommy on the advanced camping trip, calling him promising leadership material. Tommy packed his gear with characteristic precision, checking his compass, first aid kit, and the merit badge sash he wore with such pride. The search for Tommy began Sunday evening when he failed to appear at the designated pickup point. His tent was found properly staked and organized, his sleeping bag neatly rolled. But Tommy was gone. The only trace was his merit badge sash hanging from a pine branch about 50 yards from camp, as if he'd placed it there deliberately. Search teams combed the forest for 6 days, using dogs, helicopters, and hundreds of volunteers. The FBI questioned every scout and adult leader who'd been on the trip. Scoutmaster Adams was particularly helpful, staying late to review maps and coordinate with search teams. The investigation consumed the small town of Franklin. Tommy's parents, David and Sarah McCullough, appeared on local news stations pleading for information. The theory emerged that Tommy had gotten lost during a night hike and succumbed to the elements. October nights in the mountains could drop below freezing. After 3 weeks without finding a body, the case was classified as a missing person. The family held a memorial service, but never stopped hoping he might somehow return. The case went cold as seasons turned to years. David McCullough developed a drinking problem that eventually cost him his marriage. Sarah moved to Portland to live with her sister, visiting Franklin only on Tommy's birthday and the anniversary of his disappearance. Michael, who had been 9 when Tommy vanished, grew up in the shadow of his brother's absence. He joined the same Boy Scout troop, driven by a need to understand what had happened and to honor Tommy's memory. 13 years later, Michael's Eagle Scout project brings him back to Camp Wilderness. The Tommy McCullough Memorial Trail is his way of ensuring his brother won't be forgotten, a permanent tribute that will introduce future scouts to the hiking and camping skills Tommy loved. Michael has spent months planning the route, securing permits, and organizing volunteers. Scoutmaster Adams, now in his early 50s, has been instrumental in the project, helping navigate the bureaucratic requirements and praising Michael's dedication. The metal buckle changes everything. Michael photographs it with his phone, then calls the county sheriff's office. Deputy Susan Wood arrives within an hour, bringing crime scene tape and excavation equipment. What they uncover beneath the leaf litter sends shockwaves through the investigation that had been dormant for over a decade. The shallow grave contains not just Tommy's remains, but evidence of other victims. Scattered among the bones are fragments of scout insignia from different time periods, patches and pins dating back nearly 20 years. A waterproof container holds dozens of photographs, trophies taken by someone who wanted to remember his crimes. The images show young scouts in various stages of distress, some clearly taken at Camp Wilderness, others at unknown locations. Detective Ray Kowalski, who had worked Tommy's original disappearance, is called out of retirement to consult on the case. As he reviews the evidence, a horrifying pattern emerges. The photographs span 2 decades and show at least 8 different boys, all between the ages of 10 and 14. Cross-referencing with missing person reports reveals that several of these boys had been reported as runaways from various scout troops across 3 states. The killer had been methodical, targeting boys from different communities to avoid detection. The investigation focuses on adults who had access to multiple scout troops during the relevant time period. Scoutmaster Bill Adams's name appears on volunteer rosters for regional camping trips and merit badge workshops throughout the timeline. Adams had been a model scout leader, earning commendations for his work with at-risk youth and organizing safety training sessions. Parents trusted him implicitly. His background check had been clean, his references stellar. When confronted with the evidence, Adams initially maintains his innocence, claiming he's being framed by someone trying to destroy the scouting program. But faced with DNA evidence linking him to the crime scene and his own photographs found in the waterproof container, he finally breaks down. In a recorded confession, Adams admits to killing Tommy and 7 other boys over a 19-year period. The confession reveals the full scope of Adams's crimes. He had been abusing scouts for years, targeting boys who showed signs of wanting to report him. Tommy had confided in another scout about uncomfortable interactions with Adams, threatening to tell his parents. Adams lured Tommy away from camp under the pretense of a night navigation exercise, then killed him when the boy refused his advances. The merit badge sash had been hung on the tree branch as a taunt. Adams knew search teams would find it and assumed Tommy had gotten lost. Michael learns that his own Eagle Scout ceremony, the proudest moment of his teenage years, had taken place directly above his brother's grave. Adams had insisted on holding the ceremony at Camp Wilderness, claiming it would honor Tommy's memory. Michael remembers Adams's speech that day, praising him for carrying on his brother's legacy and making Tommy proud. The scoutmaster had stood over the burial site, delivering a eulogy for a boy he had murdered, while presenting Michael with the highest honor in scouting. The revelation devastates Michael and destroys his faith in the organization that had shaped his identity. He realizes that Adams had mentored him specifically because of Tommy, grooming him as a living reminder of his crime. Every camping trip, every merit badge ceremony, every moment of pride had been tainted by Adams's presence and his secret knowledge of what really happened to Tommy. The investigation expands as authorities search for additional victims. 3 more burial sites are discovered at various camps where Adams had volunteered. The total victim count reaches 11 boys, spanning from 1992 to 2011. Families who had spent decades wondering about their missing sons finally receive answers, though the truth brings as much pain as closure. Adams pleads guilty to 11 counts of murder and receives multiple life sentences without possibility of parole. During his sentencing, he shows no remorse, claiming he was trying to teach the boys about the realities of the world. The judge calls his crimes an unspeakable betrayal of trust and notes that his position as a scout leader makes his actions particularly heinous. Michael completes the Tommy McCullough Memorial Trail, but the project takes on a different meaning. Instead of just honoring his brother's memory, it becomes a reminder of the importance of protecting children and recognizing warning signs of abuse. The trail includes educational markers about safety and the courage to speak up about uncomfortable situations. Michael works with victim advocacy groups to ensure the trail serves as both memorial and prevention tool. The Boy Scout organization implements new safety protocols, partly in response to the Adams case. Background checks are expanded, and the buddy system is strictly enforced during all activities. Michael becomes an advocate for these changes, speaking at regional conferences about the importance of vigilance and the need to believe children who report inappropriate behavior. Today, Michael visits the memorial trail regularly, often bringing flowers to the small granite marker that bears Tommy's name. The woods where his brother died have been transformed into a place of learning and remembrance. Other families of Adams's victims have added their own memorials along the trail, creating a garden of remembrance hidden among the pines. The case serves as a stark reminder that predators often hide behind trusted positions in the community. Adams's crimes were possible because of the implicit trust placed in scout leaders and the isolation of camping environments. Michael's accidental discovery not only brought justice for Tommy and the other victims, but also ensured that their deaths would lead to changes that might protect future children. The Tommy McCullough Memorial Trail remains open to the public, a testament to the resilience of survivors and the importance of never forgetting those who were lost. Michael continues his work as an advocate, driven by the belief that Tommy's memory is best honored not through grief, but through action that protects other children from similar fates.